We've also got some news just breaking into us involving the Capitol Hill and the White House, with the House voting to overturn a Pentagon policy that lets service members get reimbursed to travel to get an abortion. This move answers a big demand from the person you see on screen here, Alabama Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville, who's been holding up hundreds of military promotions and getting a lot of flack from the president in the process. Listen to what he said about the senator today.
He's jeopardizing U.S. security by what he's doing. The idea that we're injecting into fundamental foreign policy decisions what, in fact, as a domestic social debate on social issues is bizarre. I don't ever recall that happening, ever.
The Defense Department says there are at least 250 nominations being held up by this whole thing. That number could jump to 650 by the end of the year, and that could be felt throughout the entire military. With an effect on readiness, you would have less experienced deputies having to take up some of these open positions in the short term. Potentially junior officers discouraged from staying in the service and going for a promotion. And then huge financial and logistical burdens for troops' families who are waiting to find out what happens to them next. NBC's Monica Alba is traveling with the president in Helsinki, Finland. And we have this late-breaking news tonight, Mon, from Capitol Hill. And word from our Capitol Hill and White House teams now tonight, Sahil Kapoor and our colleague Kristen Welker, that the Biden White House is preparing to sort of ramp up, I think, some of the messaging on what Tommy Tuberville is doing. They say extremely concerned about this. Tuberville, to his point, says he's going to stand firm until he sees action on this policy that he doesn't like. Who blinks first in what is a game of political and military chicken?
This has been bubbling for weeks and months now, Hallie, and the White House has been closely following it. And they were waiting to see whether potentially Senator Tuberville was going to back off this position or adjust in any way. And then all of this really was ratcheted up today when a reporter asked President Biden, as you played there in the intro, and he really made the case that this isn't just about politics. This is about national security and some of these key positions. So I think you can expect the White House to continue with that line of messaging, according to a memo obtained by our colleagues Sahil and Kristen, who you just mentioned there, that spells out why the White House is so worried about this and specifically raises the point that they would like fellow Republicans of Senator Tuberville to speak up and speak out on this. And we've seen a little bit of that start with Senator Mitt Romney and Senator Lindsey Graham tweeting that even if they agree with the Alabama senator on the policy issue here and what they would like to see change, they don't think that this is the right way to go about it, to hold up these key nominations and promotions for key positions that we do know about, like the Commandant of the Marine Corps or, of course, the Chairman to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but then for dozens others that you wouldn't maybe recognize the name of, but that are so key to the military readiness and the way that they are structured throughout the entire country. And as we're here in Helsinki, Finland, where the president just wrapped up a week of really important geopolitical conversations, and the U.S. military is supplying controversial cluster bombs to Ukraine, for instance. There are a lot of conversations right now about how important it is to have the U.S. military at the peak performance point that the president, that the Secretary of Defense, and everybody on down wants them to be at. So I do think you can expect this fight to continue to ramp up. There will be a political messaging fight. But overall, at the end of the day, top White House officials tell us they're going to make this case that it's not just about that. It's not just about 2024. It's not just about elections. It really comes down to being about key national security. Hallie.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.